For you impatient fucks, yes, the movie is good. You can click off the video now. For you nerds who want a little bit more hair on your chest, The Batman is directed by Matt Reeves and stars Robert Pattinson, Zoe Kravitz, and Paul Dano. And before we begin, yes, Robert Pattinson is fantastic as the Batman. I know that a lot of people before the movie even came out was already doubting and bringing up, that Robert has been in Twilight. He is fantastic in the movie, right? Nobody is going to be bringing that up anymore. He's fantastic as the Batman. And arguably, he's the best adaptation that we have. Now, the opening to this movie has got to be one of the best openings. It's on par with The Dark Knight's opening. And the theme and the soundtrack of the Batman is just so menacing. And it's just powerful. His theme, when it plays, it's just, oh my god. If you have a good surround system in your theater, it's gonna get the blood pumping. One of my only complaints about the Batman, though, is that it is really dark. And I don't mean that figuratively, I mean that literally. It is really, really dark. And I understand it is incredibly hard to shoot at night. So I can understand a lot of the challenges they face with trying to shoot some certain scenes at night. But if you're at a theater when the projector is not the greatest, you're going to be having to squint at like some shots because it's just so dark. A lot of that is by choice because you'll have a lot of characters that are hidden in the shadows. And next thing you know, they'll just come out and you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know you were there. Like, they do that a lot. So the elements of shadows and dark plays a huge role. But that being said, a lot of the imagery and a lot of the shots are breathtaking. There's this one shot where Batman's in the water. I won't spoil it, but cinematography is absolutely beautiful. The way the Gotham looks, feels, the way it's all raining, it just feels like I can smell the screen. Like, it just smells like shit. Gotham just looks terrible. It looks like a place that you do not want to go near. The movie definitely has inspiration from people such as David Fincher and like the movie Seven. Just the feel and the slow buildup, it's very thriller focused and very like mystery wise. So a lot of scenes will have people talking, trying to figure out stuff, because it really is a detective movie. Batman is a detective. He's trying to figure out who was behind these killings, how do I stop him, who he is, how do we catch him? And he has to work with the police don't like him, there's a lot of conflict. Even though he is already Batman in this movie, it still feels like an origin. One of the biggest things that I liked about the movie is that Batman in the beginning and Batman towards the end, there's almost two different people by the end. He has a character arc because he realizes something that he's doing. I won't say exactly what it is. I won't spoil it. Everyone in this film is fucking fantastic. Paul Dano as the Riddler is menacing. He's chilling. The fight scenes are brutal, and they actually like pack some punch. In the opening, Batman like breaks this dude's arm. It's brutal. This movie is actually PG-13, but it feels very R-rated. There are also a lot of Saw elements. The Riddler in this movie is essentially Jigsaw. He literally has like a Saw trap contraption that he puts on someone in the movie. This movie is really long, and you can feel that. The runtime is just so long, and I heard a joke where the movie could have been a lot shorter if Batman maybe walked a bit faster. But no, those scenes where he's just walking slowly are great. It's a great build-up. I love it. The runtime of this movie is very long. Essentially, there's two plot lines going on. You have one story kind of following Catwoman around, and then you have Batman and Gordon trying to catch the Riddler. Batman has great chemistry with all the other characters, with Gordon, with Catwoman, the Penguin. They all have great chemistry with each other. I think everyone is perfectly casted. Everyone works well together. I feel like there's a lot of working parts. It feels very complex at times, just trying to figure out where things are, how this could be connected, because as an audience, you're also trying to figure out how does this exactly lead to the killings, because you're also kind of in Batman's shoes. You're trying to figure out, correlate to this, how do we find this killer, like what's his motive? So we're also trying to figure out why he's doing his killings, how is he doing these killings, and in a way, it's also a mystery, just like in the original comics. Batman is a detective. As he's figuring out the case, so are we. And that's how I was able to get really invested in the story. And I think a lot of people are going to be invested into a lot of the mind games that the Riddler plays. There's a scene where the Riddler and Batman have a conversation, and it's perfectly executed. The way that the Riddler screams in this movie, like, it's just a weird, like, screeching sound that he does. Yeah, it's very, very good. They definitely got a lot of their inspiration from not only the Zodiac Killer, but from the movie Zodiac Killer, which I'm pretty sure is also directed by David Fincher. Yeah, but overall, I thought it was fantastic. Alright, that's it. See ya.